Central Park, Sunday, 14th of February 1988, St Valentine's Day, a day of hearts and roses, and I'm sure that this afternoon a lot of hearts will be under tremendous tension, and I'm equally sure that neither side will be handing the other a bouquet of roses in what promises to be a tremendous second round tussle of the second round of the Silk Cup Challenge Cup. The teams now taking the field. Wigan led out by Shaun Edwards, the new captain, going saluting the crowd in what they hope will be their way to Wembley, and Leeds equally hopeful. Leeds, the Millionaires team, who came through the first round with a tremendous classic victory over Castleford, whereas Wigan had to battle hard against a big Bradford team on a pitch that was more suitable for mud wrestling than rugby league. And this afternoon the pitch down the centre is looking no better. It's looking very heavy and very tacky as a referee blows up the captains to come and meet him in the centre of the field. The Wigan team for this afternoon at number 1 Hampson, 2 Tony Iro, 3 Kevin Iro, 4 Joe Lydon. Wigan having dropped Hanley for disciplinary measures, and at number 5 Jedburn, 6 Shaun Edwards, 7 Gregory, 8 Shelford, 9 Kiss, 10 Case, 11 West, 12 Potter, and 13 Goodway back after suspension. Subs Russell and Lucas. And the Leeds team for this second round: 1 Gurr, 2 Morris, 3 Schofield, 4 Stevenson, 5 Bassnett, 6 Jackson, 7 Wilson, 8 Tonks, 9 Maskell, 10 Furbank, 11 Powell, 12 Medley and 13 Heron. Substitutes: Lyons and Brooke Cowden. Wigan, having won the toss, will attack down to the Spion Cup end of the ground, so it'll be Leeds to set this game in motion, playing from right to left. A great crowd here this afternoon as David Stevenson comes up to set the game going. Coming to Gregory, takes it cleanly, dummies with it, trying to bring it away himself, runs into heavy tackling as the 2 second row men meet him. Wigan trying to battle the way up to their own 25, keeping it tight. Case is ready, first pass, and it's Case who takes it, so strong, but he's met with determined tackling by the Leeds forwards. Kiss behind the play the ball, back to Hampson. Hampson hoists it deep, but it's covered. Bassnett coming across for it, 10 yards outside his own 25. There's a strong one, he gets away well from Goodway, but the Wigan wall was up there to take him as Mark Wilson comes over, moving the short pass. Every yard of ground being fought for desperately. Maskell waiting behind the play the ball, moves it out. Wilson handing it on to Tonks, and it's Gregory who's in there to hold Tonks, coming in with great fire and determination. Wigan moving in quickly, pinning Leeds down. Leeds finding it difficult to make any territory at the moment. Now moving the ball across well. Heron bringing Powell inside, and Powell is bounced down, cut in two by strong tackling. Leeds moving it across, and Wigan are up. Potter's in strongly, and Leeds have lost ground, and it's the 6th tackle, and it's Wigan's possession. Potter looking hurt in that tackle to Gregory. Gregory onto Shelford. Onto Case. Wigan have swapped props. Case is at number 8. Shelford has gone to 10. A switch of direction to Edwards. Onto Shelford. Shelford a short pass. And Goodway's dropped the ball as he was going through. Snapped up by David Stevenson. Wigan made the gap and then lost possession. Maskell now. Wigan being stretched as it's moved well across the line, and there's a break, and Wigan in all sorts of trouble as Leeds surge down the field, and he's turned inside. Schofield's going to score, and he's over right from inside their own 25 from a Wigan lost ball. Leeds move the ball beautifully and quickly and accurately, surge down the field, and the Wigan defence caught hopelessly out of position, and Schofield, that poacher of tries, goes over after 3 minutes to give Leeds a very early lead after they'd been bogged down. Leeds 4 then, Wigan 0, and in spite of some tremendous early tackling, Leeds have forged ahead. And that was a good try to Leeds. They moved the ball well, capitalised very quickly on the Wigan mistake, pounced on it quickly, played it quickly, moved it fast across the field. Ball turned well inside to Schofield, and Wigan backtracking, just could not catch him as he managed to get over, nearly up to him on the line, but Schofield had sufficient speed and strength to take him over. David Stevenson on the 25 line. A lot of noise coming from the crowd as he comes up, bangs at it, stabs at it and misses what should be an easy try. So 3 minutes gone, Wigan behind by 4 points, and a good try to Leeds. Well, this could well be a torrid tussle. Leeds had plenty possession so far. Wigan had it for a very short spell and made a mistake with it. And the class of Leeds told as quick as a flash they were onto that to make the most of it. Joe Lydon belts it high into the 25, taken cleanly by Leeds. That will be the tails up now with such an early lead. Wigan coming up very sharp as Leeds coming away. Heron trying to bustle his way through. Kiss and Shelford hanging on to him. Goes to Tonks. Tonks switching direction, moving it out. Leeds coming back inside and bogged down a bit on their own 25 at the moment. Flung back for the kick. And Hampson, who usually has Loctite on his hand, takes it so well. Sure catcher of the ball, but the Leeds line was up quickly. Tonks and Powell up very quickly to take Hampson. Wigan having to run it out from behind to play the ball and taking it over the halfway line. Onto Gregory. Gregory onto Edwards, and Edwards being caught quickly by Medley, who came up very fast to take Edwards as he was receiving that. And a penalty to Wigan. Edwards thrown down to the ground as he was getting up. Wigan not settled down into any form of rhythm at the moment. Joe Lydon finds a good touch, bangs it into the 25. Now Wigan in an attacking position as Andy Gregory comes up with Edwards on his right. It goes to Edwards standing still, nobody coming forward, and then Shelford decides he's going to batter his way through, ran into a solid brick wall of tattlers. On to West, West taking them on, charging in, gets his pass in well. Wigan forging ahead. West did well to part with the ball there. Good way to Gregory. Gregory dumbing onto Edwards. Edwards onto Hampson. Hampson taken low and hard, wanting to get up quickly. Onto Gregory. Gregory running the other way, being taken by the arm and swung down. Kiss to Edwards. Edwards to West, West taking them on, trying to dummy his way through. Forwards hanging on to him as he drags them along with him. 5 tackles gone, 10 yards out from the Leeds line. Kiss waiting behind to play the ball. On to Gregory, who falls. Managed to hoist the ball. It's in the field of play and Wigan go up quickly. And they bounce Leeds down on their own try line. Leeds now having to fight their way out of the danger area. They've got good forwards capable of doing it, but they're not in it at the moment as Wigan are trying to hold them close to the line. Now Tonks coming in hard, good clearing run, gained 10 yards of very valuable ground. Flung back for the kick, left-footed, Hampson having to come across field. He has Iro with him as he snaps it up. Going on his own, he's lost possession, and the ball's been thrown into touch by Leeds. Stevenson trying to get it moving as Wigan made a mistake. and only succeeded in throwing the ball straight into touch, completely missed Basnet. Gregory coming round the Leeds side of the pack to feed the scrum. Referee wanting a tunnel, pushing Leeds back, telling Leeds to get onside. Referee's watching Leeds very carefully. It comes out to Gregory. Gregory trying to bust through the pack, bustling his way in. Heron comes in strongly, bit of niggling going on among the forwards as Lydon comes up. Lydon decides he's going to have a run and only gains a yard or so. Wigan forwards bunched on the narrow side of the field. There's none on the open side as Case tries to take them on. Powell and Medley hanging on to him. Wigan seem to have this funny move, and now they're taking it round. That's Edwards dancing his way down the middle, and he's cutting 10 yards out. Kiss to Gregory. Gregory holding it. And Leeds are in the line out, and Gregory has to hang on to it and making no progress. Leeds moved up well, 5 tackles gone. Edwards waiting on the right, and it's Edwards who gets it. Hoists a high one, and Wigan look offside as they follow it. Ball's loose on the ground, and it goes over the dead ball line. And that was a dangerous kick. Referee let it go as Leeds kicked it dead, so it's a drop out under the Leeds post. And now Wigan putting on a bit of pressure as we come up to the 9th minute of this game. 4 points to 0 to Leeds as David Stevenson prepares to drop out with his back to the Spion Cop end of the ground. Tries a low one, it's coming to Iro. Make sure of it. Not a lot of first team experience. Wigan a bit light in the backs, having dropped Lydon. Now it's Shelford taking them on. 3 of them come in to smother him. Kiss to Edwards. Edwards holding it. On to Iro. Iro knocks off one, knocks off another. Still going. Pass is a bad one, but Wigan managed to regain possession. Iro made a strong run, threw out a poor pass. All Wigan could do was fall on it. Edwards now. Wigan on to West. West a short one, and Goodway can't take it. He's knocked on and doesn't regain possession, so it's Leeds ball. With a line on in to play the ball. Referee going over to see what's happened. Kitts comes in very quickly to tackle the acting half-back. Tonks now coming in very strongly. Shelford going in hard. One Wigan coming in with great fire and determination. Too much fire and determination, says the referee. It was an illegal, a foul tackle as a Leeds player is stretched out on the floor. Referee signalling that knees had gone in. Wilson on the receiving end of that. And there's relief for Leeds as they belt it out of their own 25. Maskell takes a tap, moves it on to Wilson. Furbank trying to come through. Wilson a short pass and a goodly break by Heron. Tremendous break by the loose forward. He has bags of support, moves it outside, and Halney's can't take his man, and they're in it again. A great try by Leeds. Bogged down for so long as they did against Castleford, and suddenly surged down the field. Heron cut Wigan wide open. Beat Hampson all ends up, and Medley there with his strength and his power to make it now Leeds 8, Wigan 0. Well, Maurice Bamford did predict that this might not be a tight game after all, and the way that Leeds are breaking through and coming away and got the speed to capitalise on it, Wigan could well be in a lot of trouble. Having fought the way back after being 4 points down, and Leeds struggling. From a foolish penalty, they found touch, and from the tap, the penalty. Heron came tearing down the middle. A great run by Heron, split Wigan wide open. The defence I won't say the defence was weak, but the running of Heron was extremely good, and the support was there from Medley to make it after 12 minutes play. Wigan 0, Leeds 8. 5 yards in from the touchline for David Stevenson. Low one again, and it's there. Salutes his teams, he makes it 10 points to 0. And Wigan don't have a mountain to climb to the whole of the Himalayas, as Leeds are putting on a fantastic display, tackling well, and when they break fast and strong. Knocked on, not well taken. The better trap in that, fumble in his own 25, puts Wigan in a good attacking position again. But the Leeds defence has been holding very solidly in this opening 13 minutes. The referee on the narrow side of the field as Gregory puts it in, out to Edwards standing still. Lydon dumming, having to go back down the middle on his own. A good run by Lydon. Wigan moving slowly away from the scrum. Gregory now waiting first pass. Gregory takes it on to Edwards. Edwards to Goodway. Goodway trying to bash his way through. 2 mistakes so far with his handling. Kiss coming over. On to Case. Case inside to West. West going for the line, but the defence is holding. Kiss to Gregory. Gregory holding it. His pass has been knocked down. Edwards falls on it, so we're back to 1. Wigan a bit thin on the left wing, and that's the way it's going as Gregory holds it, bringing it inside to Shelford. Shelford trying to take them with him, dragging them forward, fighting for every inch of ground, goes down 5 yards out from the line. Switch to Edwards, Edwards holding it. Wigan trying to batter the way over on that solid line of defence. Stronger than the Siegfried line as Case tries to crack it. And Wigan are not going to get through by putting their heads down and bashing. Comes out to Edwards. Edwards to Gregory. Gregory dumming inside. A long pass goes out. Wigan looking to get that as Hampson coming back inside. And he's put down in the 5th tackle. On to Gregory. Gregory, little grubber kick, and it's well dropped on by Powell. Could have been James, but Powell was in the right place. Leeds withstood a lot of pressure very well indeed then. Now it's Powell's turn as he tries to come through. Hurled to the ground by the Wigan defenders. On to Tonks. Tonks switch it inside. And Leeds going round in ever decreasing circles at the moment. In possession, not playing too well there. Flung back for the kick. Well taken by Hampson. Hampson trying to run through, beats off one tackle. Onto Iro, can't take it. Stretched out, fingertips. Roll off his hand and into top, so we scrum down. Just outside the Leeds 25 will be Mark Wilson to put the ball in. A bit of manoeuvring going on in the packs. The Leeds pack has collapsed as they heaving and trutching and manoeuvring for advantage. We're going to put Brian Case on the open side and Shelford on the blind side. Tonks having difficulty getting down. Maskell's head is still not in the pack. Wigan not yielding an inch, and Maskell eventually gets down. Shoots straight at the sun. He's lost it. Picked up by Goodway, and there's a gap for Hampson. And his pass has been intercepted and knocked back. And Wigan are going to have to get some steadiness in the game. They got a surprise possession there and then threw the ball away with bad passing. The referee says Wigan weren't standing straight at the play of the ball. They were standing side by side, and another foolish penalty given away. Well, Wigan got a ball from that scrum which they never thought they'd have, and then they put in a very bad pass. Not found it. Well taken by Wigan, and his feet go from under him. Ground conditions not good at all for players keeping the feet. Brian Case trying to sidestep and force his way through. Tonks comes in to force him down. Out to Gregory. Gregory short one onto Shelford. Shelford trying to bash his way through and the forwards hang on to him. Wanted to get up quickly. Leeds hanging on as Edwards out to Gregory. Gregory holding it. Wigan trying to break through. Looking for support. Can't get rid of the ball. Goodway still going. A powerful run by Goodway. Throws the ball away and all Wigan can do is drop on it. Referee says it's back to 1. Leeds lying up very close as Wigan slowly across the line, and eventually West says, well, somebody's got to go forward. Wigan slow coming away from the play of the ball, seeming difficult to get moving. Chris Nars a run from behind the play, well backed up by West. West takes it over the 25 line. Edwards onto Gregory. Gregory holding it, dumbing his way through. Kiss to Edwards. Edwards doing a dummy with it. Short pass and Wigan are going for the line. Turned inside and Wigan are over under the post as Goodway goes up there. Well, that was good play by Wigan. Split Leeds wide open. Goodway, who a short while ago had made a tremendously powerful run. Wigan went through well after some nice interplay by West on the 25 line, and Goodway puts Wigan's first try on the board. Leeds 10, Wigan 4, and the referee stops the clock. Nice inside pass by Wigan. Nearly halfway through this tremendous second round cup tie, nearly halfway through the first half. Hampson should be an easy kick, but who can tell when the nerves start to take the toll. Kicking into the vast crowd on the Kop, and he makes no mistake. Wigan 6, Leeds 10. And Lydon is off the field injured, and a penalty to Wigan for not letting him play the ball. Powell, the judge, guilty, and it's Lydon who's been brought off. And Russell has come on, so I presume that Byrne will have gone out on the wing, and Hampson places the ball upright in the tacky mud and finds touch. Surely not allowed, not a ground game, but it was safe as Russell hands it on to Gregory. Gregory to Edwards. Wigan standing now. Shelford decides he's going to take them on, and eventually three forwards bury him. Now West coming hard down the middle, and he's broken through beautifully. His pass has gone forward and gone astray. Well, that's a great run. Handling is difficult under these conditions, but Wigan are making a lot of mistakes with the handling, whereas Leeds have been very, very sure in the way they've been holding the ball. Masker. Wilson handing it on to Basnett, who's come into the middle, and he's flattened for his pains. Wigan coming in quickly into the tackle. Stretching Wigan with long passing. And Iro comes in, and his brother comes in from the wing. Gurr behind the play, the ball inside. Nice dummy by the standoff Jackson, and a good kick behind the Wigan defence. But Hampson's going to be across in time in his own 25. Dangerously close to the touchline, a bit of mauling going on in the tackle, and the referee's going to give Wigan a penalty, I think. Calling Morris out, roughing up Hampson after the tackle was completed. And that's another foolish penalty to give away. Going to give Wigan a lot of relief because they were under pressure after that good kick by Jackson. Gregory to Edwards. Edwards with short pass and Wigan have lost the ball again. Wigan's handling is terribly suspect this afternoon. Wigan player flat out on the floor. Leeds now, chance for attacking here. Move a long ball out. Hyro comes in quickly to smother his man. Helped by Kiss and Shelford. Maskell out to Wilson. Wilson gives a domain. He's well tackled low and hard. On to Tonks. Big strong Tonks. Turns it inside and he's lost the ball. The ball's still loose. The referee's going to give the knock on. Both sides struggling with this ball. Wigan to feed. First knock on by Leeds, when Wigan knocked on, so it's Wigan to feed. Pack finding it hard to keep the feet. Pack's collapsed completely and Leeds have won it against the head. Jackson looking for support, Edwards coming in, hanging on to Gurr. Gurr gets up again, and both Iros are in, and Gregory comes over. Basnet from behind to play the ball, running cross field. Hangs on like grim death to this ball. It goes on, Wilson, short one onto Tonks. Tonks trying to drive his way through. No hard tackle by Kiss, puts him down. Heron coming through again from behind to play the ball. Leeds now turning the helmet, strong in attack, trying to break through the middle, and Wigan go across and cover. And Wilson's caught in the last tackle, coming up. Little grubber kick through, Iro takes it in the field of play. Good run by Iro, running a bit cross field, gets his pass in. Wigan surging down the wing. Onto Russell, plenty cover there, and followed by Morris, but Wigan brought that well away from their own try line. Comes inside, Wigan now battling the way over the halfway line, still playing with a lot of fire, as Kiss onto Edwards, Edwards to Gregory, Gregory short one up to Shelford, and Shelford is well tackled, that was well read by Leeds. Edwards going through for the play the ball, gets his pass in, Wigan attacking down the wing, and good strong tackling by Leeds. Russell coming into the middle, trying to dance his way through, and that's 5 tackles gone. Comes to Edwards, Edwards, overhead kick, Hampson's following it, Hampson's up there, takes it cleanly, loses possession, it's been knocked on. And the referee says it's the 6th tackle and he's not giving the advantage. So Leeds inside their own 25, battling the way out. 26 minutes gone. Wigan 6, Leeds 10. Powell now, met by the Wigan defenders. Referee waving Wigan back. And at times like this, when Leeds are bogged down, it's then that they're showing how dangerous they can be, breaking out when they seem as if they can't get moving at all. Look as if they're getting ready for the kick now, and it's flung back, yes. Kicks charged down, Wigan taking it over. Ball's loose and Wigan are in. Onto the post again. Brian Case up there after that well charged down kick by Potter. Potter up very, very quickly to charge it down. Leeds made a mess of it on their own try line, underneath their own post. And that levels the score in the 27th minute. Wigan 10, Leeds 10, and Wigan coming right back into this game as Richard Russell brings the ball 15 yards out. And Wigan, from having looked dead, as I said, they were right down in the valley with the Himalayas in front of them, have battled the way out. and now level the scores at 10 points each in what is a tremendous game of rugby. Clock showing 27 minutes as Richard Russell, straight kick. From having been dead at 10 points to nil in very early stages, they've shown great strength and character and determination and have battled away now into a 12 points to 10 lead. Great roar from the Wigan crowd, from being in the depths of despair, from the slough of despond. They're in absolute ecstasy now as they go into a 2-point lead. Hampson, dummying to kick, forced to the ground. Kiss, onto Case, Case will bangs in him off, powerful running by Ryan Case. To Edwards, Edwards little overhead kick, has he got the legs, it sticks in the mud. That was a fortunate drop for Leeds. The ball stuck in the mud when in the dry deck, could well have run away. Basnett coming in the middle, getting nowhere. Tonks runs into Shelford. Shelford forces him down. Maskell moving it across onto Wilson, back to Wilson. Wilson sees a gap but he can't get through it. Wilson moving it across, Heron, and these players covered in mud from head to foot, difficult to distinguish. Look as if they've been down the mine, and there comes the kick, and once again it's charged down. And it's the sixth tackle, so Wigan get possession. And the referee's not going to allow that, the ball was never played. He's going to make sure the ball is played correctly at the rollover. Leeds lying up very close as it comes to Edwards standing still. Gregory in the mud, sends a long one to Iro. Iro being taken man and ball, gets out the tackle, still on his feet, but they hang on to him. And that was dangerous play by Wigan. Gregory inside to Shelford. Shelford runs into all the Leeds back and says he's going to take them on. Kiss to Gregory. Gregory holding it. He's going to come back inside and he runs into trouble. They need to get out of this morass in the centre of the field as Edwards onto Case. Case hands it back to Potter. Potter driving forward, only gains 3 or 4 yards before he's forced down. And this is stamina sapping stuff as Gregory breaks down the middle. He's made the gap, he has Edwards with him and he held on when he should have given it. He's lost the ball and it's gone forward. Oh, and if Gregory had given that ball and he had support on both sides, Edwards would surely have been under the post. And after a brilliant break by Gregory, he held on just that fraction too long and paid the price. And Brooke Cowden is coming on and Medley is coming off. Backs collapse, very untidy scrummaging. Medley is off, Brooke Cowden come on in his place for Leeds. Wilson to feed, Wilson gets it out, nearly gets away from both Gregory and Edwards, but eventually bounced down to the ground, and Leeds once again back in their own 25 and coming away strongly. Leeds on their own 25 line, Powell trying to make a break, and he's lost the ball. Turning it into attack. Goodway hanging on onto Iro. Iro onto his brother and he loses the ball as he goes into touch. Well, for some unknown reason, Gregory Edwards dropped out the line out. And so there was no overlap and there was plenty of cover to take Tony Iro. Wilson feeds and Wilson gets it out. Edwards going in to take Jackson, hangs on to him. Leeds onto Tonks. Gregory who's hanging on to him. Looks like a gnat on an elephant as he went into the tackle, but he hung on to him and stopped his progress. Leeds now battling inside their own 25, and it's turned back, and Wigan are holding them on the Leeds line, and Leeds are losing ground in possession. Must be very dispiriting. The acting half-back's caught before he can get rid of the ball. And Wigan are coming in very quickly and very keenly, trying to hold them there in the fifth tackle, and it is the fifth tackle as they line up ready for the kick. Twice it's been charged down. This time it's a high left-footed one. Leaves it to Hampson. Hampson juggles with it. Hampson going on his own, but he's well tackled and snuffed out of the game. Good way on to Edwards. Edwards changing direction in the mud, jumping, and that's a good strong tackle on Edwards. It really bounced him down to Gregory. Gregory on to Potter. Potter gets his pass to West. West looking for support. Long one. Russell can't. All he can do, he can't get to it. Wigan turning it on. Long pass from West. And Edwards looking shaken in that last tackle. It was a clean tackle and there was a lot of power in it. And it's taken its toll of him. Hampson moved right up into the Wigan line-out. There's an extra standoff. Wigan look as if they could win this. Comes on to Russell. Russell trying to make a break. Wigan having won one against the head. Gregory, slow play the ball. He's having to run on his own. Dumming it, trying to force his way through. Players finding it hard to push this ball back in the mud. Out to Edwards, doing the run around with Goodway. Goodway decides he's not going to give it to him, he's going to go on his own. Kiss to Gregory. Gregory turning it back inside. Go around in circles and Wigan have lost ground. Indecision by Gregory. And Leeds are up quickly to make the most of it. It goes to Edwards. Edwards, a short one onto Case. Case turning it back inside to Potter. Wigan keeping it tight in the forwards at the moment. 5 tackles gone. And it comes to Edwards. Edwards moving it across. Long one out to Hampson. Hampson puts an overhead kick. High rolls now, but it's covered. And it's the bomb. No, he's given the 25. He pointed under the post at first. But quite rightly, it was caught cleanly in the 25 area. So it's going to be a tap from the 25. And Leeds making the most of it. They're up quickly, coming strongly. And that was a good run by Leeds. Maskell moving it inside. On to Tonks. Tonks gets his pass in. And Wigan just managed to snuff them out as Schofield was coming tearing through on that ball. But they couldn't get it to him. Now he's out of the game as the ball's moved out to the right wing. And they still, Leeds keeping it going. And this is tremendous stuff. The tackling is of the highest order. And Brooke Carlton caught him, but then he's still going. He will not go down. Leeds in their own half, have an overlap. Gregory coming across, takes his man well from behind. Leeds were coming onto that well. Stevenson running cross field, gets his kick in. Russell going back in his own 25. He's on his own. He decides to come away from the touchline very sensibly. Wigan back to their own 25. Long time since Leeds were up here. Dragging the way forward a yard at a time. Comes to Edwards. Edwards to West. West taking them on. Gains 5 yards of ground. Edwards to Gregory. Gregory to Goodway. Goodway to Shelford. Shelford puts his shoulder and his arms are locked. He can't get rid of the ball. Kiss coming over. Kiss to Goodway. Goodway to Gregory to Edwards. Edwards coming down the middle. And his feet are just taken at the last minute in the 5th tackle. Iroh's come up to the play the ball, on to Gregory. Gregory kicks, and it bounces and goes straight into touch. Morris hesitated, he wasn't going to touch that, so it may Leeds put in with 3 minutes of normal time to go. Wigan 12, Leeds 10, and we have a great cup tie on our hands here at Central Park. Wigan lying up very, very shallow, lying in line with the pack. Leeds lining out deep, and Wigan have won it. It's lobbed across the field. Edwards picks it up. Onto Byrne onto Hampson. Hampson trying to go through. Well tackled by Gurr. Byrne to Edwards. Edwards to Iroh. Iroh decides he's having a run. He's going down the middle, and then his feet are taken from under him. Kiss to Edwards. Edwards changing direction. Onto Goodway. Goodway holding it to Byrne. Byrne trying to come through. It's put down just outside the 25. Kiss to Goodway. Goodway to Edwards. Edwards dancing about in the mud, showing them the dummy. Edwards trying to make a break onto Iroh. Onto his brother. His brother's gone for the line. And he's in. Tony Iroh's in. After a lovely switch of direction by Edwards. He looked as if he was bogged down in the middle of the field. But somewhere he managed to get an extra gear. He became jet propelled. And out to Kevin Iroh, who held it well. And up to Tony, who finished. And that's a lovely time for Wigan to get a try. Right on the score of right on the moment of half-time. Wigan go into a 16 points to 10 lead. And Wigan coming right back into this game. The football was starting to flow for the last 10 minutes or so. After looking a little bit panic stations, a little bit lacking in confidence, but now it's coming, and now they've got the noses in front. Only just, but the noses are in front. 39 minutes on the clock. Wigan 16, Leeds 10. A long kick for Richard Russell. Couple of yards in from the right-hand touchline. And it's too heavy and it's way off the target. However, I think after being 10, and now goes the hooter, and a very delighted Wigan will go in extremely pleased at having been 10 points down to go back to 16-10. And that must be a bit of a shaker for Leeds, but they've got a lot of talent and a lot of determination and a lot of skill, and anything can happen in the second half. Well, what a veritable feast of football that first half provided. A couple of magnificent tries early on from Leeds, which would have knocked the stuffing out of ordinary men. But this Wigan team are not ordinary men, in spite of the fact that several internationals are still missing from the team. They show real class and character in coming back to fight against this great Leeds team. To give them 10 points so early in the half would have broken almost any team's heart, but not Wigan. They came back and they ground Leeds down. They kept at them and at them and at them, and eventually Leeds almost faded out of the game as an attacking force. In fact, really, it's been sporadic raids that they've shown in attack. And here come the Leeds team. Could have a great second half in our hands to decide who's going to go into the hat on Monday night for the draw for the third round. Wigan playing without Hanley, of course, who's been disciplined and having lost their other international centre, having been brought off injured, and Leeds having lost their international second row forward Medley. So a little bit of tit for tat as Mr. Allett Getting the game going, Hampson from right to left for Wigan. Belts it high, taken cleanly by Gurr. Gurr trying to bring it away, being forced crossfield, runs into Gregory and Potter. Leeds in their own 25, coming strongly onto it. Powell trying to come down the middle. Wigan hanging on to him. Leeds sorting themselves out for the kick, I feel. There it comes. Hampson in the right position. It sticks in the mud. A lot of blue jerseys up there. Schofield takes him. Morris comes in to help. Russell giving his team time to regroup. Kiss to Edwards. Edwards trying to make a break on this heavy ground, and you could see his legs struggling as he tried to kick forward to Gregory. Gregory to Case. Case runs into Powell, and Powell takes him low and well. Kiss to Gregory. Gregory holding it, turning it inside. Gregory through up to Edwards. Edwards lets it go to Hampson. Hampson going for the line. Lobs it out to Russell. And he's in! He's in at the corner. He did well to take that. It nearly dropped out of his grasp. But that was set up again by Gregory. He held that ball till the vital second. Wigan broke. Hampson tearing through. Lobbed a high one out on the wing for Richard Russell. And it was the most difficult one for him to take. It shot out of his hands, and when it looked as if he was going to knock on over the line, he just managed to grab it before it touched the ground. And that's a tremendous opening for Wigan. Wigan 20, Leeds 10. Well, that's putting Leeds under a lot of pressure. 2 minutes gone in the second half. Well, Wigan already got a try. Hampson with a long one. A yard in from this left-hand touchline. Well, that was clever play by Andy Gregory, setting that up well. He held that ball to perfection. Timing was perfect. Bit of conference of war going on among the Leeds players in the in-goal area. Probably wondering what's hit them after that early lead. No chance with that. That ball must weigh a ton. And there's a great buzz going around this massive crowd as Leeds come up to the centre. 10 points behind. David Stevenson coming to Gregory. Takes it well, bringing Russell inside. Russell bounced down on his own 25. Kiss, short one. Wigan forward, trying to bring it away. Leeds coming in well. Kiss decides he's going to fight for 5 yards, and he gets them right in the morass of mud. Comes out to Gregory. Gregory, little overhead kick. Edwards chasing it. Edwards is first up, dribbles it on. Kicks at it again. Hampson's chasing it over the line. Hits the post, and he dives, and it's a try. It's a try from a lovely little overhead kick. Hacked on by Edwards. Chased by Hampson. Fortunately for him, the ball hits the upright. Bounces back, and he's now right on the spot. And this looks like Wigan, hour of glory. Wigan 24, Leeds 10. Try to Stevie Hampson. Well, the Wigan team went out at lunchtime. I don't know if they went to Lourdes playing for a miracle, but it certainly happened. from being what should have been stone cold dead. They are now riding supreme with 14-point lead after 5 minutes of the second half gone. Richard Russell, straight kick, ground is heavy and soggy. Wigan 26, Leeds 10, and as I said earlier on, Maurice Bamford said that thought it would be a free scoring game, and he's proving right, but he's probably proving a disappointment for him. And Leeds making another substitution. Lyons coming on. Gregory up there to take it so well, decided, and he's broken through. He has support with Nicky Kiss, and he's fly kick forward, and it's been knocked on. Well, nothing going right for Leeds at the moment. Tremendous break by Andy Gregory. His pass went astray, was kicked through. Morris coming in the middle, couldn't take it cleanly. Wigan having the rub of the green at the moment. Looks as if Lyons has come on for Wilson. Lyons making a break from the base of the scrum. Knocked down, and Wigan come in. Hampson's in to complete the tackle. Heron, and Wigan are caught napping here as it moved the ball across. And Gurr is caught. Wigan got time to sort themselves out. Jackson up behind to play the ball to Lyons. Lyons on to Powell. Powell coming strongly, but he can't break out of the tackles. Maskell to Lyons. Lyons moving it across. Leeds struggling in the mud at the moment. It comes out to Lyons, on to Tonks. Tonks trying to break through, turns it back inside to Lyons. Lyons, bang, good backing up by Jackson. Jackson going hard for the line, and Hampson downs him on the 25 line in the fifth tackle. Tonks set it up well there, and now Heron going hard for the line, and the ball's gone astray. Referee says 6 tackles have gone. Wigan will be glad to have that in their own 25. As Tony Iro gets up, plays it back to Kevin. Kevin gains the yard, caught behind the play the ball. Nicky Case to Case. Case dragging over the 25 line. Gregory's first pass. Gregory decides he's going to have a run on his own. Gets on it, gets his pass in. Wigan powering the way through as Potter comes driving forward. Goes to Edwards. Edwards moving it across. Onto Iro. Iro making the break, still going. Dummying has his brother inside. He's gone for the line. He must score. Tony Iro's going to score another try. And Wigan are massacring Leeds at the moment as Tony Iro makes it 30 points. And it was that man Gregory who started it off again. And strong running by Kevin Iro. He's so powerful. Held off the tacklers. His brother sensibly came inside. And once again he finished off well to make it after 8 minutes of this second half. Wigan 30, Leeds 10. And there is really a powwow going on in the Leeds in goal area. Well, from inside their own 25, from the rollover, couple of dashes forward, and then Wigan surge down the field, looking worthy of what they named themselves, the world champions after the victory over Manly. And now the Wigan machine really is running well oiled. Iro has a bat. Wigan not having a lot of luck with the goal kicking this afternoon, but they now have a 20 points lead with 10 minutes of the second half gone. Wigan 30, Leeds 10. And what a transformation in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Now, how well does Leeds travel? Can they pull it back? And they're offside. They're in front of the ball at the kick-off. They were trying a little move. They were going to take a short kick. Kiss coming up. Grafting as ever. And Case. Back onto Kiss. Kiss taking them with him. Edwards up behind the play of the ball. West is wanting it, but it doesn't come to him as it's stretched wide onto Gregory. Wigan is through. Gregory out a good way. Oh, and Hanson's pass has gone astray and will roll into touch. Well, Goodway made a great break down the right wing. Hanson was with him. The final pass held just that fraction too long, timing out, and it went astray. So it will be Lions to feed on the narrow side. Leeds having a job getting their heads in the front row. Out to Lions. Referee says it's a penalty against Wigan. Feet up in the scrum. Should be a bit of relief this. Jackson belts it into touch, 10 yards short of the halfway line. On to Tonks. Tonks puts his great bulk in. Could well be his last game this season for Leeds. Due to go back down under. Furbank now playing one-man rugby, coming one at a time. Maskell switching it to Lyons. Wigan coming hard to take Heron out of the game. Good tackling by Goodway and Potter. On to Lyons. Lyons to Powell. Powell being taken by Potter again and Edwards. Maskell to Lyons. Lyons moving it across. Heron trying to make a break. Back to Lyons. Lyons disappears in the fifth tackle. Out to Tonks. Tonks. Little grubber kick through. Hanson's there. Quite happy to go down with it as Gurr takes him. Back to Richard Russell. And he's caught in possession. Kiss to Edwards. Edwards to Case. Case is on his own. There's a big gap in the Wigan line now. All the forwards on this side. Russell has gone over to the other side. It goes to Gregory. Gregory onto Goodway. Goodway whips it back. Gregory having to retreat for it. Dies with it on his own 25. Wigan player looking shaken on the floor. Russell in the middle of the field. Referee says 5 have gone. As Gregory onto Iro. Didn't know he was going to get it. And he's going to get caught in the last tackle. I don't think he was aware of what was happening. Leeds quickly playing it, getting it moving. Furbank well tackled by Hampson. Schofield waiting behind the play of the ball. Inside to Lyons. Lyons turns it back out. Leeds trying to crash the way through at the moment as Maskell comes up. Maskell to Lyons. Lyons to Heron. Turned inside to Powell. Case hangs on to him. Maskell to Tonks. Tonks back inside. And Wigan up quickly. Leeds playing it tight among the forwards at the moment. And Powell's looking injured as it comes to Tonks. Tonks big and strong. His pass is loose on the floor. But Leeds managed to regain possession, retain possession. The referee signals 5 have gone as Jackson holds it. Puts an overhead kick, it's going to go taken cleanly on the 25 in goal area, so we're back to 25. Wigan wanted to come quickly. Gregory takes it and he's away. He's streaking down the field. He has Edwards with him, but he can't get to him. Well, that was a good move by Gregory. Short down the field. Shelford to Edwards. Edwards across onto Goodway. Goodway to Iro. Iro's pass has been knocked down and Leeds have got it on their own 25. The referee said it was knocked on and so it was scrum down on the Leeds 25. Well, that was sensible play by Hampson. He flung it quickly, having taken the ball when he was in the goal area. Flung it quickly up to Gregory and Gregory went from 125 to the other after a quick tap. Both sides could shake hands with each other. The line up so close. gone into the stand-off half position and Edwards has gone into a centre position and is standing in front of him. Ball's in, it's out to Gregory. Gregory trying to break a break from the scrum, it's caught in possession. Getting up very slowly as Iro decides he's going to have a run from the play of the ball. He's very strong, but this time he's picked up in the air and bounced down. Quarter of an hour gone as Wigan move it along the line. Brian Case has it stuffed off his jumper. No intention of passing then, trying to suck in the defence. And a switch to Edwards. Edwards moving it across to West. West, long legs, striding out of the tackles, but they hang on to him. Kiss to Edwards, to Greg. Edwards dummying. They don't buy it. Down he has to go, and that's the fifth tackle. Gregory waiting, first pass. What's he going to do with it? He's holding it. Long one out to Russell. Russell turns it inside. Good way, back to Gregory. Gregory kicks it anywhere. And it's been dropped. Well, that was an anywhere kick. And Leeds looking downhearted and dispirited and disorganised at the moment. Drop the ball in front of their own posts. For Wigan to feed. Now Edwards telling his team to lie deeper. Hampson could well be coming up. He's lined up for linking up if Wigan get the ball. Wigan have got it to Edwards. Edwards to Byrne. Byrne to Edwards. And that was well read by Gurr. Took Edwards right out of the game. Hampson on the run from behind to play the ball. Gained 10 yards of ground. Territorial, it's all Wigan at the moment. As Kiss decides he's going to get nearer to the line. Put down 10 yards out. Hampson acting half-back to Gregory. Gregory to Edwards. Back to Gregory to Goodwin. He's lost the ball. Russell drops on it, but it's a knock-on. Goodwin trying to come through on the short pass on the burst. Couldn't take it cleanly. It shot out of his hand. The Lions to feed. Comes out, loose forward, Heron trying to make a break. Wigan hang on to him. Leeds got a long way to go and this ground is so heavy now. And Wigan's tackling is very keen and moving in quickly. As Lyons has to grope and he's knocked on, though the referee said it went back. This ground in bad condition. Tonks comes striding. Good break by Tonks. Very strong and powerful. Brings it out of the 25. And it's like treacle there. Now they're moving it out into the open space. But they turned it back inside to Powell. And Powell still on his feet, managed to get his pass in. Long pass, trying to stretch Wigan. Wigan nearly bought the Duns. It turned inside. Iro comes across and covers up. But they split Wigan. Referee saying get on with it. And he's penalised Iro for holding him down in the tackle. And Schofield makes no mistake with a touch kick, but that saved Leeds an awful lot of graft as Lyons comes up onto Maskell. Maskell back to Lyons. Leeds tight in the forwards. Lyons onto Powell. Powell coming down the middle just as his ankle's taken from under him by Potter. Leeds turning it on now. They bring it back inside, coming hard onto it. And there's some fierce tackling going on as Maskell comes over to Heron. Heron who's had a good game, but this time his feet slip from under him. Lyons onto Tonks. Tonks going to turn it inside. Back to Paul, and it's been sucking the Wigan defence in. Referee says 5 tackles have gone. Schofield's up near the play of the ball with Lyons. And it's Schofield it comes to. Schofield puts a grubber kick in and it's not a good one. Much too hard and over the dead ball line. And the clock shows we're halfway through the second half. With a score, Wigan 30, Leeds 10, and Gregory with a tap from his own 25. And to Kiss. Kiss runs into Powell, gained 10 yards of ground. Gregory On to Shelford. Shelford put down, nearly the same spot. On to Case. And now Wigan playing it tight in the forwards. Comes to Edwards. Edwards' little overhead kick for Goodwin. He's taken it. Good move between the half-back and the loose forward. Edwards coming through from his offside. Yes, the referee's caught him. As he was going back, he tackled Edwards, the attacked in half-back. So it's a penalty to Wigan, 10 yards inside the Leeds half. Wigan take the tap, Hanson dumming with it. Running out towards Iro, knocks one off, dummying, trying to come through. Still on his feet. And eventually he has to die with it. And he's being mauled in the tackle. Referee saying carry on as it comes to West. West playing what we're having, we're keeping as he puts his shoulders in. Wigan crowd baying for blood, wanting more points. As Gregory moves it out to Edwards across the line. Onto Iro, Iro to Russell. Russell going for the line, has support inside, but he's crushed down. And he dropped the ball getting up. The referee's calling a Leeds player over, 2 Leeds players over. Want to read them a little riot act. Wigan get a penalty, 15 yards out, right on the touchline. An elbow having gone in, the forearm having gone in to Iro. And Wigan decide they want to play a little bit further back. Kiss coming into the 10-yard mark. Referee telling him to get on with it as Gregory sends a short one which looks suspiciously forward. Wigan doing an elaborate move onto Iro. Iro knocking one on. Short pass, Wigan going for the line. And they're snuffed out a yard short. And a penalty, Wigan penalised. Not happy about that, Wigan. Referee right on top of them, and that's given Leeds a lot of relief as they find touch on their own 25 almost. To Lyons. Lyons moving it across to Furbank. Furbank looking very weary as he plodded and ploughed his way forward. Lyons, who's been quite lively since he came on, having a little run, trying to duck under a tackle, running on his knees. To Tonks. Tonks gives a lovely reverse pass. It gets Wigan in all sorts of trouble. And Leeds streaking down the field now after that Tonks move onto Schofield. And Hanson takes him well. Man and ball, he buries him. Morris moving it inside. Jackson onto Lyon. Leeds playing good football, stretching Wigan as they bring it back to Tonks. Tonks onto Gurr. Gurr going for the line. And Wigan cover comes in and takes them. 10 yards out, but that's great football by Leeds as they come into the attack. Trying to come through from acting half-back and a wasted tackle. That's the 5th one. As Lyons comes up. Dumming, trying to go over onto Tonks. Tonks looking for support. The ball's gone loose. It's flung out to Basnick coming inside. Running cross field. Keeping it moving. They turn it back inside. They've got it and Shelford smothers his man. And that is the 6th tackle. Well, Leeds handle that ball as if it were red hot. Playing the right tactics. Wigan bashing the way forward. Russell coming from the wing, decides he's going to running crossfield, tries to cut through a gap that isn't there. Iro coming from behind, coming to behind the play of the ball, decides he's going to have a run, and he's gained his 10 yards of ground. Wigan playing a game of attrition in no man's land as it comes out to Case, and Case turning and twisting. Brings it to 10 yards outside the 25. Comes out to Edwards. Edwards to Iro. Iro going back in the middle. And that's 5 tackles gone as Edwards comes up, doing his general's job onto Gregory. Gregory holding it to Hanson. Hanson kicks. Referee says play on. It's no obstruction as Powell picks it up. Hands it on to Gurr. Gurr gets out of a Hanson tackle. He's coming down the middle, coming down well. And his feet are taken from under him. On the halfway line. Whipped inside by Aaron to Tonks. Tonks lets it go. Aaron keeping it moving. And Wigan pushing Powell back. Lyons moving it across. Good strong running by Aaron. Hyrule comes in to take his man, cutting in from the centre position. Leeds still giving it all they've got, coming strongly, driving into the Wigan 25. Schofield's come up into the line and now he's missing as it comes to Powell, and Powell did well to hang on to that. Referee signals 5 tackles have gone as Maskell comes over. Gives it to Tonks. Tonks going to turn it back inside. A high up and under. Hampson's there, and he takes it well, and he's buried as he takes it. But he's so brave and so safe. Hyrule trying to run it out from behind to play the ball. Wigan going back rather wearily. And Richard Russell decides he's going to do the forwards job and bring it away. Wigan have had time to sort themselves out. And now it's Wigan who are bogged down as Byrne tries to bring the ball away. Kiss to Gregory. Gregory changing direction, slipping. Dummies, lovely dummy by Gregory, outrageous dummy. And eventually he's fell by Furbank. And the touch judge is on. Bit of a battle going on. Tonks not happy with the decision as Furbank got hurt in that melee on the ground, and Hampson finds it 10 yards inside the Leeds half. Gregory to Edwards. Edwards onto Case. Shelford was wanting that ball, and there are 25,000 at today's game. 25,180 as it goes to West. West taking them forward. Kiss moving it across. Gregory to Edwards. Edwards on to Hyrule. Hyrule can't hold on to the ball. We can regain possession, but it will be a knock on. And these players have given it their all this afternoon. The effort's been tremendous on this bog of a pitch, and the legs must be getting very weary now as we come up into the last 12 minutes. Lyons puts it in, and Lyons gets it out. Jackson moving it across the line. Pasnett coming inside. Schofield coming through from behind to play the ball, coming strongly. Edwards hanging on to him. Wigan watching him very carefully. Apart from the early part of the game, we've seen very little Schofield. Lyons now with the ball, moving it across. Leeds coming back inside and running into trouble. On to Tonks. Tonks holding it, distributes the ball so well. And Fairbanks dies with the ball. Goes out to Lyons. Lyons tumbling with it, getting it moving on to Jackson. A long one has gone astray. Hyrule can't take it cleanly. Leeds have regained possession and have dragged it to touch. Bit of loose play over on the far side of the field. Gregory feeds, comes out to Gregory. And Hyrule not expecting it. It hit him on the head and bounced away, and he was getting ready to link up. Wasted possession by Wigan as Leeds now come powering forward, and they've dropped the ball. Russell, Byrne came inside and did enough to check his man. And so with Wigan to feed the scrum again. Well, we made a mess of it round the last scrum when Gregory threw a long pass which hit Iro on the head. Leeds lying very flat as the pack wheels all over the place and collapses completely. It's Wigan who've been penalised for not forming the scrum correctly. Right in the middle of the treacle, David Stevenson prepares to kick for touch down the Wigan right wing. Makes no mistake with it. Leeds getting ready for a move as they line up. Dummied to Lyons. And a good break by Leeds of powering down the field. And Hampson's there to snuff it out. That was a good move by Leeds. And they've got Wigan on the trot now. As Powell moves it across, Jackson turning it back inside onto Lyons. Lyons gets away from Hampson's tackle. And now it's Leeds hot on the attack. 5 yards out from the Wigan line. Can they come back into this game? As Maskell comes up behind the play of the ball onto Tonks. Tonks moves it and they nearly through, but Wigan manages to hold solid. Tonks trying to batter his way over. He gets rid of the ball onto Furbank, who doesn't seem to know what to do with it at all. But they've shot to the Wigan defence in. Leeds turning and twisting, trying to batter the way through. 5 tackles gone, says the referee, 10 yards out from the Wigan line. And it comes to Tonks, who sets so much up. That's a long pass, and Wigan are wide open. They turn it back inside, and Wigan have held them right on the try line in the 6th tackle. And Wigan penalised for not lifting the ball up to play it. Very foolish, right on their own line. Tonks, a yard from the line. Takes a tap and he dives forward. And the referee's given the try. Well, that was not a very exciting try. One that Wigan should never have given away. Referees said they didn't pick the ball up to play it, penalised them right on the line. Tonks put it a foot from the line and just bashed his way over. David Stevenson stabs at it and he's missed. Kicking not good. Neither side kicked well today. So with 7 minutes to go, it's Wigan 30, Leeds 14. Edwards, good captain, urging his men on as Hampson brings it up. Plonks it down in the mud. Into the 25. Coming back as Leeds try to set up the attack, moving it in their own 25. Edwards and Iro hanging on as Lyons tries to come through and Iro's in again and they're pushing Leeds back in possession. Territorial, they want it playing in the Leeds 25. Wigan, if they can keep them there, they'll be happy. And Wigan forward, hunting as a pack now, coming in together into the tackle. But Leeds moving it well, still showing determination. And that was strong tackling by Wigan. Good tackle by Graham West. Leeds trying everything they know. They turn it inside, keeping the ball moving. Powell streaking through. And eventually swung down and round. 5 tackles have gone as it goes out to Tonks. Tonks getting it moving, trying to come down the middle. Wigan not holding the men. Ball's gone astray. And Wigan have it. Graham West, long arms, stretch out most gratefully for that one. As Edwards tries to make a break down the middle, he's still going, gains 5 yards of ground. Hampson up behind the play of the ball. Gregory's very close to him. And it's Gregory who gets it. Gregory holding it. Gregory trying to come down the middle. Swung down and round. Edwards directing what's going to happen. Moves it out to Hanson. Hanson holding it. Wigan moving crossfield. Not denting the Leeds defence. Shelford keeping it tight. Referee says 5 have gone as it comes to Gregory. No, it's Edwards who gets it from a long one to West. West to Iro. Iro turns it back inside. Wigan going to get caught in the 6 tackle. Referee says it's a rollover. Gregory's been awarded the man of the match, and Wigan penalised for not getting up and giving them the ball. Andy Goodway hanging onto the ball on the floor. Schofield gets it into touch. Maskell coming up onto Lyons. Lyons moving it across the field. And Wigan forwards came in determinedly as Leeds came through on the burst. Maskell to Lyons. Wigan covering across the field. Leeds still on the feet. Still looking to get rid of the ball, and doing so as Powell comes streaking down the middle and he's followed from behind. Managed to get his pass in, and it's been charged down by Hampson. Referee's going to give the knock on. Crowd boo, but he did hit his hands and went forward. And Leeds fighting to the death. Not yielding, still coming back hard at Wigan. Lyons to feed. Lyons gets it out to Heron. Heron moving it across. And Hampson's there, but Leeds keeping it moving on to Schofield. Byrne follows him, puts him down. Bit of mauling going on in the tackle. On to Jackson. Jackson gets the short pass in. On to Lyons, and Lyons did well to hang on to that one. Leeds at the moment intent on keeping this ball moving. Schofield up behind the play of the ball. Turns it inside to Jackson. Jackson being smothered. Lets the ball go, and Wigan say we're having it. Shelford dropped on it. Wanted to play out the last 2 minutes. Richard Russell still got power in his legs to keep bringing the ball forward. Jared Byrne, he'd probably have a run too. Does a run around. Byrne trying to change direction. He's still coming. Good run by Burns. He's still on his feet, but he's hanging on to the ball. Wigan know that time is disappearing quickly as Kiss decides he's going to bring it away. Fights for 5 yards of ground. Potter to Gregory. Out to Edwards. Wigan moving it along the line to Goodway. Goodway comes back into the middle onto Edwards. Edwards trying to dance around in the mud. Like a mud rink out there. 5 tackles gone. Edwards gets up wheel. It comes to Gregory. Gregory dumbing with it. Let the ball go to Iro. Iro's lost possession. He's being held. Wigan come back for it. They're going to get caught in the 6th tackle in their own 25. Little bit of loose play by Wigan then, but now Leeds playing for pride, and they've dropped the ball, and Wigan regain possession. Tiredness creeping into players, forcing them into errors. Wigan, and a great roar of delight acclaims Wigan's victory over Leeds by 30-14 in a game which is of great credit to both sides. They've turned on a feast of tremendous football under appalling conditions. We've seen some great tries, some great defence, and it's been a wonderful game. Must have been a bit of a disappointment to Leeds after that brilliant start, but one must give Wigan the credit. They fought their way back and took command very early on in the second half to ensure that they go into the hat on Monday for the draw for the third round.
Excellent team performance from Wigan. You must have been pleased with the boys.
Yeah, I was really pleased, John, because you know they've had to overcome quite a bit of controversial media, you know, throughout the week, but they've been able to handle that, and I think the hard training that we've done over the last couple of weeks really paid off.
Have you carried out any special preparations just for this game?
Nothing really special, but if anything, we've stepped the training up a little bit. We've introduced some new type conditioning methods, and it's made everyone work a lot harder than we have been working.
How concerned were you when Wigan conceded the early tries and went 10 points behind?
Well, I was pretty concerned, but it was one of those situations, believe it or not, that I felt like the first 12 minutes of the game that we were probably on top for 11 of those minutes, but they just happened to have the most points, and it was just a matter of us striking back as soon as possible.
Yeah, can you run through the tries we conceded early on, starting with the first one from Gary Schofield?
Well, you know, Leeds managed to capitalise on a drop ball from us, and then just caught us with a simple 4-on-2 or 4-on-3 situation. It's a good basic football, just a game of advantage. They ended up with too many numbers.
After Gary Schofield scored the first try, they missed the conversion. Another 7 or 8 minutes went by and Paul Medley came through. Can you remember the situation at that stage?
Well, from memory, I think it was just a good example of a player running at the gap, running between two players, and the two Wigan players missed the tackle, but it was good play on Leeds' part. See, that's a good example for any young player on how to run straight at the gap, not to the player. There's a bit of shoddy defence here at the finish by our players, but it was a well-deserved try for them.
And to come back from 10-0 down after 12 minutes against a team like Leeds, and then to lead at half-time by 16 points to 10 was a remarkable effort by the team. What brought this turnaround?
Well, I think it's only you know, not panicking, sticking to what we initially went out to do. The team was well aware that Leeds were really in front in those first few minutes of the match by firstly by a drop ball that we turned the ball over, and then they caught us out with numbers, and then the second one was just straight missed tackling. But the guys were well aware, and we've spoken about at training, that you have to make the second effort. The second effort's to come back, and also not to panic, just to make sure that we remained locked onto whatever, you know, the game plan that we had.
Can you run through the tries leading up to half-time, starting with Andy Goodways?
Well, I think at this stage we've just been mounting considerable pressure. Sean Edwards did well moving across the field, giving the ball to Jed Byrne, who came straight onto it, and then Andy Goodway cutting back from the right from out wide, and just wrong-footed the whole of the Leeds opposition. Well, this one here was again a try that can be scored by good defence, and I think it's a good example for young people, young players as well, because you can attack when you don't have the ball, and this shows it. It's a good pressure situation. They are set to have a field kick. Ian Potter charges the kick down and then backs it up with a good tackle, which forces the ball to be released, and Brian Case, backing up as normal, goes under the post. Well, this try again was brought about through from constant pressure, prodding the edge the whole time. The ball was initially going to go out to the left. Sean Edwards spotted a weakness on the right-hand side, went between two players, so a tremendous ball to Kevin Iro, who drew in the wing and put his older brother over.
Wigan came out after half-time and proceeded to tear into Leeds, with Richard Russell scoring in the first minute, followed by Steve Hampson straight from the kick-off. Was this due to any change of tactics or any half-time discussions?
No, we didn't really change any tactics. We very seldom do that at half-time, but what we did do is we felt that Leeds were coming up very quick on us on the outside, so to counter that we tried to catch them with a short ball straight away, which is what put Andy Goodway through that gap. Just a little short ball. With if you have a look at the replay, you'll see the Leeds players coming up quickly, but the short pass was on all the time, and that's what we spoke about at half time, and the guys went straight out and did it.
Yeah, you can run through the tries, can you now, Graham, please, from memory?
Well, there you can see the ball being taken to the centre of the field to set up the left-hand side. Andy Gregg feints to the left and throws a little short pass through to Goodway, who makes a good break. Hampson backing up through a pass that was touched by a Leeds player, and Richard showed some pretty good juggling skills there to finish the try off. Again, the Wigan players are continually making good yardage each time the ball's taken up. Like we've gained 30 yards there in 3 plays, which is good work. A little chip over, which is well chased, especially in those conditions. You have to chase the kicks. Sean Edwards showed some good soccer skills there. A few weeks ago that ball probably would have bounced the other way towards a Leeds player, but when things are going well, bounced right for us, and Hempo was able to follow it up superbly and score a good try. Well, this try I think shows tremendous skills on Kevin Iro's part. A good fend there, change of direction, dummy, and then again he sets his older brother away.
Graham, are there any particular individual performances that you were particularly pleased with?
Well, I very seldom single out individuals. I think it was just a total team performance. Obviously, Andy Gregg and Sean Edwards had tremendous games, you know, controlling things from the middle of the field there. But I think it was just a general first-rate performance by every player. The guys knew what they had to do because they're always the people sniffing around in the background saying that you are a one-man team because of the fantastic try-scoring ability of Valerie Henley. And I think that would have shut everyone up.
Can you pass comment on the way that the fans got behind the Wigan team and what that does for the players?
Well, it's absolutely tremendous. I thought about it a lot before the game, and then I asked Dean Bell, Sean Wayne and also Henderson Gill if they would lead the side out and show the supporters that they're not far away. They're you know, it's only a matter of weeks really before the 3 of them will be on the field, and to wave, they were a little bit embarrassed, and we felt by doing that we might gee the crowd up, and we knew we'd be able to count on their involvement in the match.
Well, they certainly got behind Wigan.
They did. It was great atmosphere. You know, we've had some tremendous atmosphere since I've been at the club, and that was equal to any of them. I felt really, really proud to be coach of Wigan.
You mentioned the lads coming back from injury. They're all only weeks away. You're talking in terms of what, 1, 2? Are they all about the same stage?
Sean Wayne and Henderson Gill are probably about 2 weeks. Sean may be able to play next week. We might give him a run in the A-team next week just to see how he handles it. But realistically, they're probably a couple of weeks away. Dean Bell hopefully will be on the field early next month.
Now Joe Lyden went off injured. What is the extent of Joe's injury?
Well, unfortunately, Joe's got sustained quite a nasty groin injury. He went to change direction and slipped in the mud and strained himself quite badly. But we'll have to let it settle down for about 48 hours just to see how bad it is going to be.
Right. Graham, a lot of so-called rugby league experts made Leeds the favourites for this game. This was perhaps because of the current injury list and inconsistencies in form, but a lot of the supporters doubted the wisdom of leaving out Valerie Henley, which was arguably the most important game for Wigan Rugby League Club for some time. Can you express an opinion on that?
Well, it certainly was. It certainly has been the most important game. It was the biggest game that we've had to face all year. But the decision to leave Valerie out, I honestly didn't consider the match that we're going into, because it was a straight decision that was to do with the way he was performing or not performing at training, just his general attitude and his general lack of interest. And whether we had been playing the bottom side in the league or the top side in the league, I would have made exactly the same choice. So I'm not prepared to put up with childish behaviour by any player, whether he's Ellery Hanley or our youngest Colt. I think the same guidelines have to apply to anyone, and I was very, very aware of the responsibility of the decision that I took, and the majority of the Wigan supporters must have been wondering what was going on, but mainly because we don't divulge any problem that we have. We keep quiet about everything. But it got to a situation where I wasn't prepared to put up with what I was having to put up with. So I made the decision to drop him. He was actually dropped for the Bradford game as well for exactly the same reason. Whereas in that game I did say that Ellery had an injury to his foot, and the only reason I said that was because Great Britain was involved in a test match the following week, and if I had revealed that he was dropped for other reasons, he wouldn't have been able to play in that test match.
There is still presumably room for Ellery Hanley at Wigan Club. Is there any signs that the clouds on the horizon may be going away? Is he still in contact with the club?
Oh yeah, he'll be. I expect Ellery to be at training. He's contracted till the end of the year. What happens from now on, I will just be thinking about. As I said, I'm well aware of the huge responsibility and maybe implications of what I did, but at least I'm clear in my conscience about it, and I've done what I believed was right and what I believe had to be done, and I made the decision totally on my own.
Graham, well, thank you very much. A tremendous team performance today, and let's hope it gets us all the way to Wembley.
Thank you, John, and I'd just like to thank the supporters because they turned up in thousands, and I know that we haven't been putting on the best of displays consistently this year, but we have been under pressure. We're not whinging about anything, but I just felt very, very proud to be part of the Wigan Club yesterday and to walk out into that atmosphere that the supporters provided.
Graham, thank you very much.
Wigan, and a great roar of delight acclaims Wigan's victory over Leeds by 30 points 14 in a game which is of great credit to both sides. They've turned on a feast of tremendous football under appalling conditions. We've seen some great tries, some great defence, and it's been a wonderful game. Must have been a bit of a disappointment to Leeds after that brilliant start, but one must give Wigan the credit. They fought their way back.